Stephen A. Max, you both mentioned Kevin Love back on the court last night, scoring 18 in his return from a fractured hand. His first game since January 30th, and of course, they got the win. So, Stephen A., I'll start with you on this. Did last night prove the Cavs will win the East?
Well, last night didn't prove it. I was saying they were going to win the East before Kevin Love returned, and I still feel that way. I don't think anybody's beating the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East, and if you recall, I've repeatedly said, I didn't even bring up the Cavs. I said the East is not beating LeBron. That's what I said. This specifically because LeBron, nobody's beating him the best 4 out of 7 in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, unless LeBron just doesn't want to lose another NBA Finals and record his 6th NBA Finals loss in his career. That's the only way that it's going to happen. There's 2 scenarios. You got that, or, listen, here's the deal. In the Eastern Conference, LeBron
Here we go.
can't
Built-in excuse.
No, LeBron can't get bounced out in the first round, and he can't get bounced out by Kyrie. Both of those storylines would be more disastrous, or I shouldn't even say the first round. Him losing to Kyrie Irving would be more disastrous, more problematic for him than losing a 6th NBA Finals, because you shouldn't have lost Kyrie. Outside of him losing to Kyrie Irving, okay, I can't see any scenario that would prevent LeBron James from coming out of the East other than a disinterest in losing a 6th NBA Finals. I don't see Toronto, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Washington, Indiana, Miami even. I don't see these teams beating LeBron James in a best 4 out of 7. I just don't see it.
All right, never mind what I was going to say, because I got to go at you for this.
Sure.
You just finished saying no excuses. You just finished saying no excuses. Now you got a prediction on the Cavs, but you built in an excuse in case they lose. Now you can say LeBron James didn't want to lose in the finals.
Hold it, Mr. Intellectual. Comprehend the words being elocuted out of my mouth. I am not going to make any excuses. I am not going to let anybody off the hook. I'm just telling you what I think the mindset could potentially be on their part. Stephen A. will be right here. I mean, Stephen A. will be right here.
All right, how does that work?
Hold on, let me give you the list. Let me give you the hit list. What I'm saying to you is this. I don't believe that he'll want to lose a 6th NBA Finals. But that doesn't mean that if he loses earlier than that, I'm going to let him off the hook. I'm just telling you what the thought process is.
Yeah,
I ain't letting him off the hook. I ain't letting John Wall and the Wizards off the hook. I'm not letting DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry off the hook. I'm not letting Boston.
Good.
I might let off the hook a little bit because Gordon Hayward ain't there. Yeah.
That's what the fourth estate is supposed to do, right? You have to hold everyone accountable. But
Sure.
for some reason, you're conflating how good everyone is with some kind of moral issue. Like, some teams just aren't good enough. But I want to know how this works with LeBron. I want to know how this works. You mean to tell me because he doesn't want to lose in the finals, he's at some point not going to play as well as he can? Because you're saying, on the one hand, out of one side of your mouth, you're saying no team in the East could stop him. And on the other side, unless he doesn't really want to get past them. Well, how does that work? Play that out for me. They're in the middle of a series and LeBron packs it in?
I can sit up there and play it out for you in simpler terms. There have been times throughout LeBron James' career where we've wondered about his psychological approach to things. We didn't question his game. We didn't question his abilities. We didn't question his greatness. We questioned his want-it factor. We questioned how bad he wanted it, not in terms of wins and losses, but also in terms of the level of competition that you were going up against. When he went to Miami, people lamented stuff because they felt like he was just stockpiling talent and jumping on bandwagons and what have you. And ultimately, we got distracted from that because Kevin Durant did the same thing in Golden State, and ultimately Melo and Paul George joined OKC, and Chris Paul joined Houston, et cetera, et cetera. So it sort of changed the landscape. But we look at dude's psychological approaches all the time. We watched the Washington Wizards when John Wall was out, and Gortat and Beal and others behind.
I've never seen that from LeBron, Stephen A.
You never
the
saw
only
what from
time
LeBron?
I've seen LeBron.
You never saw what from LeBron?
I'm saying psychologically, if you want to point to the first finals loss against Dallas in Miami,
Sure.
when LeBron choked in 4 fourth quarters by abdicating responsibility, getting rid of the ball.
Sure.
I'll give you that. Otherwise, I have not seen LeBron not show up in the finals.
No, I agree.
The man shows up in the finals and balls. He shows up in the playoffs and balls.
I agree with that. But the fact of the matter is, prior to prior to that, there were times like when he lost to Boston, there were times when we wondered what the hell was going on with him because he seemed like a zombie out there that hadn't shown up. All I'm trying to say is it's been a long time, and nobody can accuse LeBron James of that in recent memory. But watching this game, we do pay attention to the psychological situations that go on with players. Some cats show up and want it. Other cats show up and they don't seem to want it. And you pay attention to those kind of things. And I'm not absolving LeBron or
I've
anybody
seen
else from
LeBron
that.
James